Is Captain Marvel still as horrible as everyone said it was a few years back? It seems my 5'9" YouTube counterpart has somehow contracted a mental illness. All of a sudden, he thinks Captain Marvel is a good movie. Not only does this man like anime, but now he also loves movies that are objectively horrible.
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! You were my brother, Anakin!
He's making a video about how Captain Marvel is awesome, and I'm here to defend how terrible this movie is. Go like whichever video you agree with more, and let's see who wins this war. It's gonna be me. Now, first off, we learned absolutely nothing about who Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, actually is. We learned she was a pilot that crashed a plane and blew up a funky-looking engine, and got some unexplained, undescribed, vague energy powers. That's all we learned. Is it just me, or is it pretty important to, get some backstory on your protagonist in a movie? The plot is way too predictable. Now you might think I'm just swelling my ego a bit here, but if you're familiar with Marvel in any way, you will immediately realize, that guy is a villain from another movie. And, so is he. And, this takes place in the past? I wonder how this is gonna go. The finale had absolutely zero stakes. It was just a ball of vague energy things around some random whammon who flies around and destroys like 5 billion alien ships with negative 17% effort. Yo, side note, how the heck did she survive the fall in that training from the beginning of the movie? Now look, I have nothing against strong whammon. However, this hippie has absolutely no personality, absolutely no humanity, and literally nothing going for her. We never get to learn anything about her in the slightest. I know the whole storyline of the movie is like she has amnesia or whatever the frick, but you can still show a lot of who she is instead of just telling us that she was a pilot. She started out an arrogant turd with no humility or self-control and ends up an arrogant turd with no humility or self-control and a crap load of vague superhero energy floating around her. And it also made her hair stick up. Like, seriously, who decided that that was in any way an epic look for a superhero? They made a joke of Nick Fury's eye patch backstory in a similar way to the Infinity Stones being belittled in Loki.
Some of the guys use them as paperweights.
As if it was a funny cutaway gag to demean the incredible stakes of Avengers Endgame and 20 years of storytelling. Nick Fury loses his eye in a supermanly way in the comics, but I guess a random sidekick animal scratching it is more impactful. All that sick build-up in Winter Soldier? Nah, let's make a joke so the audience laughs more and forgets how horrible the movie is. The biggest issue is just how she's pretty much the most OP being in existence and didn't earn a single ounce of it. She went through zero struggles. She didn't have a tragic backstory at all. She didn't have a hard life. She didn't have a hard time grasping how her powers work. She just immediately figured out how to do it. She didn't face a villain that challenged her. She didn't lose something close to her. She went through zero tragedy. She went through zero hardships. There is simply nothing compelling about her character, and she did not earn any of her power. Now look, this movie isn't super offensive or anything like that. It's just incredibly average and doesn't have any characters that make you feel anything. There aren't any interesting subplots, and the main plot is barely interesting enough. We already know what's gonna happen. It's hilarious that they're treating this amnesia like it's some huge mystery when we literally know all of these supposed good guys are literally villains. Like, how obviously they're gonna be the villains in the end. There were a few good scenes, but in general, there was literally just nothing compelling about this project. It's just a bland blob of stereotypical superhero plots. Now, my partner Joshua and I have agreed not to watch each other's videos until our own videos are done, so we don't change our facts based on the other video. But knowing him well, I think he's gonna say something about how there's a few scenes in this movie where they bring a lot of humanity to her character. Like, we actually see Captain Marvel smile for once in 6 years, and it brings a lightheartedness to her character. While these scenes do give her a little bit of humanity, what did they really bring to her character? What humanity was really brought to her character? We did learn that she is capable of smiling, but we didn't learn anything else. And this kind of ties into my next point. It seems Marvel only knows one way of portraying a strong female character in a movie, and that is by making them completely invincible and invulnerable to any attacks or pain of any kind. This shot plot in Endgame was really stupid. This is the most powerful freaking being in the universe. Don't correct me, comic book nerds. I don't care about Marvel lore. And somehow, Captain Marvel is able to withstand getting decked in the mouth by Thanos, not only without flinching, but not even moving. What?
What?
This is what I mean when I say her powers are so vague and way too overpowered. What are Captain Marvel's powers? I'm serious. I'm asking you. What are Captain Marvel's powers? You can't tell me. They don't make any sense. She's able to blast through an entire freaking death ship twice with absolutely no effort and no bruises. She defeats the villain with absolutely no effort, which gives no weight to the villain's power or the movie's stakes. Even when she's 12, she shows no sign of pain or learning any lessons other than falling off bike hurt, and every man around her is just a beta male yes man. A movie could have a great plot, but suffer from a terrible protagonist. And I feel this is one of those movies. And sadly, a movie isn't good if the protagonist is unlikable, unrelatable, arrogant, frustrating, and annoying, not only in the beginning of the movie, but right down to the end. Captain Marvel goes through zero character development. She never grows. She never changes. She goes through zero struggles. She learns how to use her powers in negative 16 seconds. See, everybody wants to talk about how Captain Marvel is a woman and that's just like so incredible and impactful, whatever the heck. Dude, I just want a character I can relate to, is fun, is interesting. If they were going for a character with absolutely no weakness and no backstory and no humanity and no relatability, then hey, they knocked it out of the park. She never changes, she never grows, she isn't relatable. This is the biggest reason why yeah!
Captain Marvel's the GOAT!
It's not! It sucks! I'm absolutely destroying you in this video. You have no idea.
There's no way, my video has too many good points.